Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, claims that he was very surprised at the rate and speed with which the Taliban were able to take over Afghanistan. He might not have been so surprised if he had been paying more attention to the Taliban and less attention to white rage. Now, all of you, I'm sure, remember the moment where General Milley sat in the House and testified, "I want to understand white rage." He might have actually spent his time far better if he had actually been trying to understand Taliban rage or Muslim rage or Islamist rage. Because what was going on while Milley was reading his prepared statement in defense of embedding critical race theory in order to undermine our military? What were the Taliban doing at the time? Well, the Taliban were actually busy taking over Afghanistan. And they weren't just beginning their process of taking over Afghanistan. A week after Milley's Little House performance, Afghanistan had collected a very nice assembly of American weapons that had been transferred over to the Afghan army, including not only armored vehicles, but even American drones. In July, Milley was saying that it might actually not look so good, that the momentum might be going the Taliban's way. At the time, nobody was asking him about this because the big story in Washington, D.C., the story that everybody in the media was covering when they came to Milley, was not what was going on in Afghanistan. It was a claim in an anti-Trump book that Milley had prevented a coup. The claim, of course, most likely comes from Milley or from his associates in the first place when they were trying to burnish their credentials with the Biden administration, while, of course, smearing President Trump. Now, the massive collapse, the defeat in Afghanistan, all this was going on. Milley, and for that matter, the military brass, was focusing very heavily not on an actual war that they were tasked with dealing with. No, they were focusing on critical race theory. They were focusing on spreading claims that they'd prevented some sort of coup by President Trump. They were focused on burnishing their woke credentials rather than actually winning wars. And this is a